Hey, good morning to you folks. Fine spring day. It's coming into the end of April here, beginning of May, and as anybody who's familiar with the region knows, it's prime wildflower season. Right in front of us here, we have a real cool one, a close relative of a plant that I've got planted in my yard, and in fact a close relative of the bleeding hearts that are, prolific ornamental plants around one of the temperate regions of the world. This is Dicentra canadensis. This is called squirrel corn, of all things, or Canadian bleeding heart. And looking at those flowers there, you can get an idea of why exactly that name is applied to these. Now, the bleeding hearts that are ever present in horticulture, typically Asian species, specifically Lamprocapnos spectabilis, which is a much bigger plant with pink flowers. This one's got white flowers. We do have a red flowered, bleeding heart native to the east, but not New England. That's Dicentra examenia. Two species of Dicentra native to New England. This one, and then cucularia, which is Dutchman's breeches, which is a different flower, very similar leaves. And these are in the poppy family, Papaveraceae. They're very early blooming wildflowers, in the subfamily Fumaroideae, which is famous for modifying its four petals into these little tube-like structures. So what you functionally have here are two sepals forming the lobes of the heart, and then inside are four petals that have modified themselves into a tube. And I can actually get a little bit closer for you. Getting into the base there, what you have here is your aggregate of, I think, four stamens, and then a stigma. And then what happens is these petals would fall off, and then you'd have a nice little silic-like fruit down there in the center. But we're not going to dissect this guy today. We're just going to appreciate his beauty and his splendor. So, Fumaroideae, that's Capnodes sempervirens. There's a number of, actually the majority of poppies in New England are fumaroid, not paparovoid, except for, sanguinaria, canadensis, the bloodroot, is in that core poppy subfamily. But this one, and many of its other New England relatives, are this really cool, sort of bilaterally symmetrical, modified type of poppy. So, likes these rich forests, much more common out in the western part of the state. And we got a couple other things to show. Frilly little leaves, too. You'll often see these heavily dissected leaves amongst not just this subfamily of poppy, but the majority of them. So, we got a number of things we're going to check out today. And then we'll, check back in. Or, I'm sorry, we're going to check out a couple of things. And it'll be, a decent day, hopefully. And then coming up here, we got one of everybody's favorite spring wildflowers. Get Trillium Erectum here. Full bloom. Actually, this one looks like it's already been pollinated. It's kind of got a swelling ovary. It's a little bit withered, too. But, beautiful red flowers. Probably the most common species of Trillium around New England. It'll tolerate, neutral conditions, but, you go out west, you start getting into the Trillium grandiflorums, Trillium undulatum, but this one, will tolerate a nice deciduous woodland. Then next to it, not quite in bloom, member of the family Brassicaceae there, that is Cardamine diphylla, the two-leaved, or one of the cardamines. It's a mustard, Brassicaceae. No point getting super into it right now because the thing's not in bloom. And we're actually going to be covering a lot of mustards, if not in this episode, a close follow-up episode where we're going to be looking at bucheras and borodinias, whatever they're choosing to call them now. But that's a crowd favorite right there, the Trillium Erectum. Nice little patch of them. So you get people planting daffodils, tulips, you get people planting all sorts of, Home Depot ephemerals. When in reality, this is the true, one of the true treasures of spring in the Northeast. Just a massive swath of Dicentra canadensis. I've never seen this plant before today. I've seen cucularia, the close cousin, which we might bump into that plant today, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. Look at that. Just filling in this nice little mound. Absolutely stunning. Moving on to a slightly different location. You got a couple other nice little guys here. In focus right there, kind of a up at the top right there, that's Claytonia virginica. I did a whole video about this last year, so we won't spend too much time talking about it. But Claytonia virginica is one of the 2 species of Claytonia you get in New England. Claytonia caroliniana being the much more common one. The difference between the 2 being the leaves. This one's got the grass-like lanceolate leaves. Beautiful, oh, come here. Beautiful pink flower there. Montiaceae is the family pussypaw family. Coming up next to a much more common species, anemonoides cicifolius. Yeah, this Claytonia is considered to be rather rare here in New England, though of the Claytonia species, it is the much more common globally when compared to caroliniana, which turns northern. But, you know, we were here, so I figured I might as well show you this. I got a much longer video. This habitat now, though, come down from a deciduous forest into more of a hemlock swamp. All that out there, Symphocarpus fluidus, eastern skunk cabbage, forms the predominant understory here until the summer, when this will all get filled in with Claytonia, or Osmundastrum cinnamonium. Did a video here last year though, so if you want to see some more in-depth stuff about that, I'll put the thumbnail up here for which one that one is. Hey, there's an old favorite, nice Viburnum, Viburnum lantanoides, named because it resembles a lantana. See a lot of people posting pictures of these recently thinking it's a wild hydrangea. I can understand you making that mistake with its, you know, it's got the showy sterile flowers on the outside and the actual reproductive flowers there on the inside. So these are the ones that are actually fertile, going to make the fruits, nice berries on it, and these are just to attract pollinators. And it's got your soft, rotund, opposite leaves. You know, I think they did at once place us in the same family as hydrangeas, but now hydrangeas are in Hydrangeaceae, and these are in Adoxaceae or Viburnaceae, depending on your thing. Oh, really soft leaves. You could use those as toilet paper if you really wanted to. Really nice habit to it in general. Anyway, we're going to continue on. Yeah, we're just jumping habitats. Coming to you now from a beautiful, well-drained, but somehow still quite rich hillside. We've got a variety of not super rare, but interesting plants we've stumbled across a beautiful patch of Thalictrum thalictroides. Thalictrum thalictroides. Yes, a thalictrum that resembles a thalictrum is what that species epithet means. Some other people put this in the genus Anemonella. It is in the family Vernanculaceae, sharing many of the same characteristics as one would expect Vernanculaceae to have, such as the heavily segmented leaves, and of course the uniseriate perianth. There's no actual petals here. What you're looking at are petaloid sepals, so sepals resembling petals. Vernanculaceae, many of them bloom in the spring. These are in the Thalictroides subfamily, which I already mentioned. So same genus as like your meadow rues. Actually, most of them just go by, meadow rue. This one goes by the name rue anemone because it does resemble, many of the species of anemone, which are also in the same family. But it is actually not that closely related to anemone, the genus. It is related more closely to columbines in the genus Aquilegia. Some of the characteristic features there. They do cool things with their stamens. This genus is no exception, though. This species is fairly tame in its morphology and anatomy. I do love how it emerges with all of those leaves kind of coming up almost like a collar around the inflorescence. See if you can get that focus there. Beautiful patch of them here. So usually these are, not terribly rare, but are typically only seen sporadically throughout their habitat. Coming over here, so pardon my sloppy camera etiquette, we're going to be better about it this year. You've got a lovely Antenaria. No clue exactly what species at this particular juncture. You got to get very detailed photos of the flower in full bloom, as well as the various leaves. But habitat here, it's a nice hillside dominated by deciduous trees. All these things are out now because the canopy has not yet grown in. Get similar habitat to this Mount Wachusett. It's rich, it's mesic, plenty of moisture, but very, very well drained. Nothing here is really spending too much time getting bogged down. Here's another Antenaria. A little further along, the Thalictroides. You gotta remember, paper daisy tribe. Most of these are in the southern hemisphere. You get a few genera, widespread in the northern hemisphere. can see those little anther tubes just starting to poke out. Asteraceae, very early blooming for that family. You know, I'm not going to do the whole spiel right now, but very specialized polymorphology. This is an aggregate of many flowers. Each of these little cups holds probably 40 or 50 little individual flowers in there, maturing from the outside in, and some mint. They took pictures of it. Smells incredible. Maybe just wild Mentha canadensis. I'm not too sure. Took pictures of it. I'll put up the species name there down there, the subtitles. Very, very fascinating habitat. Yeah, those are some of the basal leaves. Basal leaves of Antenaria. Not bad. Kind of jumping around different habitats, but we're beating around the bush of kind of trying to shoot 2 videos at once, so we'll see how that comes out. There was a micranthes around here too. Where'd that micranthes go? That's okay. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Kirk. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's a micranthes and an Antenaria. Thank you for pointing that out. I just talked about that when I was shooting a video earlier. And then more Antenaria. They like this habitat. They look so nice together, don't they? They look like they belong together. Okay, it's been a long day. We're supposed to be wrapping up. We've come to this beautiful exposure of a conglomerate up there in limestone. So a nice calcareous outcrop. We're looking for 2 species of Boaria, which I would have covered in a recent episode. This is 2 different species, Boaria stricta and Boaria leavigata. Not having any luck finding those so far, but we have found a number of very, fascinating, extremely fascinating plants. I saw one in bloom a minute ago, but that's Astrum canadensis, or Canada wild ginger. No relation to actual ginger. I'll show you the flower in one of those in a second. You've got Asplenium trichomanes here, obligate lithophyte. One subspecies likes it calcareous, which is what this one is. One subspecies likes it acidic, which I've seen out near the seacoast. Oh, here he is. You get your ever so weird and wonderful Astrum canadensis. Flowers underneath. Family is Aristolocaceae, the pipevine family. Papaveraceae, I believe is the order. Some more of that beautiful Asplenium trichomanes. Some cool dried out mushrooms here. No clue what those are. And of course, as we had seen earlier today, beautiful, lovely Trillium Erectum. We're gonna putz around here for a little bit longer. Like I said, it's been a long day, but there's supposed to be 2 rare species of pretty interesting mustard here. So we'll see what we can do. Oh, check out that. That's the corm on what appears to be some Dryopteris here. See, there's the emerging fiddleheads. That's fascinating. Coming up with the Polypodium crosticoides, 2 different ferns, and then I'll get you some of it in flower. But Dicentra canadensis, closely, obviously same genus. That's Dicentra cucularia, obviously the same genus as Dicentra canadensis, which you saw earlier. This is Dutchman's breeches, so we'll go show you that in a second. Lots of great stuff here. Just this nice, very nice outcrop here. Yeah, there you go. That's Dicentra cucularia. That's the Dutchman's breeches. Very closely related, obviously. Same genus as Dicentra canadensis we saw earlier today. Forming a nice, you get a Solomon sealdale, Polygonatum pubescens, tons of asterum with the underleaf flowers just coming up in the shade of a lovely calcareous rock outcrop. Doesn't really get much better than that. Don't get much of this in New England. Columbine up top, Aqualegia canadensis, food for the first few hummers. Viburnaceae is the family on that guy. Seen plenty of him hanging around here, but we're still, oh there he is, we're still on a mission to find this mustard. He's got to be here somewhere. All right, well, we couldn't locate the rare mustards today, but probably go back and finish up the video about the Boaria miseriensis. You got an interesting fern here, looking worse for wear. This is Asplenium rhizophyllum. Usually it's making a nice robust colony. This is the walking fern. It'll actually root these tips back into the moss here, and it will colonize, a nice, typically high pH, soil situation. Also got this lovely viola, unnamed for now until I can figure out what it is, but it's growing in a cool spot, so it's probably something at least worth looking into. Anyway, it's about all we've got for today, and sorry about the mustards. Hopefully we got a bunch of other cool stuff crammed in there for you. Yeah, I'm always too careful. I always say I speak too soon. So we actually found one of them. This is Boaria Stricta or Boaria Stricta, whatever your preferred taxonomic scheme is. So this is one of the mustards that we were looking for. So this is that same genus that I would have covered in the previous video. This is not the rare of the two that we were supposed to find here, although it is not often photographed. It does have a resemblance to Tityrus glabra, so-called tower mustard, which is much more common. Rare plant for you guys out in Europe, more common out here in North America. As you can see, or not see, because it's not quite in bloom yet, you do have a nice head of what look like they will be lovely pink mustard flowers, unlike our guy Boaria missouriensis, which we covered previously. What was I saying here? This guy does not have nearly as heavily segmented foliage. As a rock cress, it is a lover of this rocky habitat that I'm now up on top of. And actually, don't mean to get you in there, Kirk, unless you want to, but there's one kind of flower in there which we have no hope of making out. And then also some type of ribes down there, a currant or a, whatever. Not sure what species. I'm hoping to get a good picture of that next, but it's getting really late and I don't think we're going to find our other mustard, so I think that's signing off for now. Cut the last 30 seconds out if I end up proving myself wrong. Hey, we're here back at a really cool spot. About a week later, there's this cliff face. I was here, checking out Boaria Stricta and the myriad of other fascinating plants here. Columbine's going crazy and stuff. And I had left my tripod here, but it appears as though someone was kind enough to simply set the guy aside. We're gonna go see if this Boaria Stricta is in bloom, or at least check out his progress, because I don't think I'll be back here again shooting a whole other slew of videos today, but just as an addendum to the end of that last video. Oh, you got Meanthemum racemosum in bud here. That's nice. Go see what this Boaria is doing. If it's not doing anything, it'll be a real quick just hey, how you doing, shake hands, whatever, and that'll be that. Okay, well, actually, perfect timing. So this is Boaria Stricta. This is one of the plants we came here for last time, so we're doing this as the little addendum. Like I said, I just wanted to show you how lovely some of these cool native mustards can be. Surprisingly uncommon, or at least infrequently seen given the habitat, which I'll be happy to zoom out and show you here in 1 second. But let's because we're gonna have to do this for Boaria missouriensis, which is the much rare of these species, but we'll give this guy his own chance in the spotlight. So Brassicaceae mustard family. These are colloquially known as rock cresses. Borodinea, Boaria, Arabis, all kind of related. Little flowers in bud there look like a head of broccoli. I think this was actually formerly in the genus Turitis, so same genus as tower mustard, Turitis or Tityrus glabra. Not that that really matters at this second, but unlike missouriensis, which has the extremely what do you call it there? Dentates and ununiform leaves. This guy has lancet leaves going up the entire thing. Entire thing's glabrous and waxy too. That's nice. And then beautiful, lovely little pink flowers. Who says mustards can't be cute? It's a damn attractive plant right there, if you ask me. So you get a little colony of them, 1, 2, 3. And then down there, I actually hiked up this. I didn't realize it could come over the top, and took photos of those. So when you saw it, the last jump cut was down there. This is the habitat these things like, these nice shady rock ledges. Not gonna see it out in the open like a lot of other cliff dwelling plants. Just gonna see it hanging out in its nice little shady cliff habitat. Thing will probably be done in another week, because it's an ephemeral mustard. What did I say last? That sweet ephemeral mustard, baby. Got a nice dogwood, not blooming yet, right here. Not sure exactly what species of cornus that is, but very nice habitat. I was impressed with this last time. Oh, what's this over here? I don't know what this three-leaved thing is. I took pictures of this. Let's see, 3 leaves. No flowers on it yet, though. I'll have to figure out what that is. I should be easy to figure it out with relative ease. It's just not coming to mind right this second. 3 leaves, and it looks like it's going to have showy flowers on it maybe in a week or so. We'll have to get back to you on that. Not too sure. Lots of sugar maples around here. And then, ooh, little Erissima triphyllum action there. Jack in the pulpit. Smells like cow shit over here. Lots of farms in this part of the state. But I think we'll cut this video off here because I got a bunch of stuff that I'm planning to check out today. So take it easy. Boca restricta, everybody. I know what this thing is. It's Staphylia trifoliolata, or what is it? No, Staphylia. It's an American bladder. I seen this in Vermont in fruit, up in the Champlain Valley. It's rather, you don't really see it outside of Western New England. This is actually pretty far east for it. I'm like looking at this flower above. This one's a little bit further along. It didn't look like, you know, the trifoliate leaves maybe almost kind of give off rose for like a split second compound. What am I trying to say here? So compound and serrated. I was thinking maybe rose, but then the bloom time, like if it was an amygdaloid, like a, you know, Melanthia, like an apple, like a cherry, like any of those things, it would be in bloom now. So this guy is just getting ready to go. Yes, Staphylia. I'm gonna have to put the species epithet down there. There's another one. There's actually quite a few of them here. A nice medium-sized shrub, completely unrelated to anything else in the region. Order Chrosometales. All right, it's a weirdo. It's taxonomically odd for the region. I think you get them. Oh, I'll put up with the distribution of the order Chrosometales. Staphyliaceae is the family, and not too many of them. Small order and a small family. But yeah, nice little clusters in bud. A little too early for this guy, but it would have been cool to get it in full bloom. Maybe we'll see it somewhere else today, but I doubt it. You know, nice little horde of them. Also got a Hamamelis virginiana there as well. All right, we're cutting it off for real here, but that's a cool one. I wasn't expecting to see that today.